While progressing through the main storyline, one of the first locations we arrive at is the Kreet Research Lab, on the moon of Anselin in the Nerion system. Kreet is a rocky, low-gravity moon, with little plant life and even fewer wildlife. We're sent here to deal with the Crimson Fleet, which attacks you a little bit earlier in the story, and in space just above the moon. Once we leave our ship, Vasco reminds us of our mission and his purpose in it.
Captain, Protocol Indigo dictates that I am to return to the Lodge with no deviations. We are here to stop the Crimson Fleet from pursuit. Nothing more.
Here we're given 4 options. We'll start with, why is Barrett trusting me with his ship?
Barrett would say that billions of years ago, we were all one with the cosmos, so technically you have known each other forever. But the more practical answer is likely that he needs you. The number of known people who have been affected by the artifacts is now 2. Without your investment in Constellation's mission, he may never know more about the experience you both share. So, he is showing you trust in order to gain your support.
Next we'll go with, just who are you and Barrett? What's Constellation?
Constellation is an explorers society founded over 50 years ago with the mission of seeking out the unknown. Members often engage in expeditions in small groups, typically 1 or 2 people, or, like Barrett and myself, 1 person and 1 robot. The membership is intentionally limited and small. Should you join Constellation yourself, you will be the 10th active member.
Let's trade some gear, Vasco.
How may I be of service?
On him, we get 3 KV laser cartridges and nothing more. Backing out, we can ask the question, why is the Crimson Fleet captain after Barrett?
I have often asked Barrett that same question at various times, and about various individuals that wanted to cause us harm. The most likely answer is that Barrett personally insulted him, typically by continuing to live, usually after escaping from certain death, and often with an object multiple people wanted.
From here, we can back out and see what unique dialogue options we can get from Vasco.
While I am programmed for combat, it is not my primary function. Barrett and the Crimson Fleet have something of a history. They always assume he is a treasure hunter in possession of valuable objects. They are wrong. Usually. Captain, we should continue. It occurred to me that you have undergone considerable physical and emotional trauma since first meeting Barrett. That is not uncommon.
From here, he just repeats with Project Indigo.
Be careful, Captain. Alien creatures are often unpredictable.
It's here that we get introduced to scanning in the game. You can scan all sorts of creatures, minerals, and plants. Each unique item scanned progresses your survey data of the planet. Completed survey data can be sold for credits.
I am no longer detecting signs of life from the enemy.
Walking up is all quiet. Almost too quiet. Coming up to the door, we see a control panel off to the side. Controlling it controls... oh, the door. Alright, we'll just pull that one more time to open it, and head on our way in. Once inside, Vasco gives us a very interesting perspective of the building that we just entered.
Curious, these are United Colonies markings, but we are in Freestar Collective space. It then stands to reason that this was once a secret UC facility.
A secret UC facility in Freestar Collective space? Oh my, wonder what they were up to in here. On the first floor, we don't really see anything of value. Making our way to the second, we find a med pack that I missed. Then heading to the third, we find a dead scientist. I wonder how long he's been here. As we enter the next room, we overhear a conversation between a couple of pirates. I tried to sneak my way into the next room, but sneak was of no luck to me this night.
your center of mass.
On these pirates, I was able to find an epic weapon, a poison ripsaw. Nothing else of note was found on the pirates or else in this room, so making our way to the 4th floor, we run into a pair of pirates playing a security log on repeat. It sounds like they're really enjoying it too.
The terror morphe's loose! I repeat, the terror morphe's loose! Do not engage! If you can reach Oh man! That was the best! Classic United Colony. Put something in the gauge until it kills you. One more time!
We'll just make quick work of these pirates and then finish exploring this floor.
My head! I can't. How hard is this to take it?
Now that all the pirates are taken care of, let's see what we can get. On this pirate, we find a rare Berserker Grendel. I went up to the next floor to see if we could find some more pirates when Vasco chimes in.
I'm detecting a safe nearby. We could make use of whatever is inside, provided you had some digipics and a disregard for personal property rights.
No. What? I would never. You don't know me at all. You know me too well, Vasco. That is exactly my plan. Searching the room, we find a heat leech, which appears to be non-threatening. On top of the safe, we find Dr. Wynns' emergency slate number 2.
We're dead. We're all dead. The comms relay has been trashed. The whole room is trashed. We can't call for help. I can hear the terror morph roaring somewhere. And more people screaming.
Heading back out of the room, we find Dr. Wynns' office with an ammo crate, a credit stick, some desk trinkets, the first emergency slate, and a personal terminal. The first entry in the terminal is called a Terramorph Specimen. Hayden Wynn, Senior Xenobiologist, Kreet Research Facility, Project Log, August 15th, 2310. Thanks to the UC Marines, we now have the second piece of the puzzle, a fully grown alpha predator. According to my research, a group of astrologists made first contact nearly 100 years ago on some remote moon. The creature didn't appear to be indigenous, and was alone. There's currently no record of how it got there, so it was sheer cosmic chance that the astrologists found it, or rather, it found them. The scientists were quick to categorize it Akesiomachia, roughly, killing machine. The UC Marines tasked with taking it down chose a simpler name, Terramorph. I read the official record once. Of the 8-person squad, only 2 of the grunts survived, and one of those 2 lost a leg. Such an exciting time to be in Xeno warfare. With this log, we now have a date, 2310. The events that took place here were more than 20 years ago. Let's move on to the next one. NCI fitting today. Hayden Wynn, Senior Xenobiologist, Kreet Research Facility, Project Log, August 20th, 2310. Today we fit the Terramorph with an NCI. If our experience with the grunts first dropped off the creature is any indication, our sedation window will be around 15 minutes. We'd better make them count. I can only imagine how different the war would have ended if their experiment had worked out. Backing out of the terminal, we see another pirate. Wonder where this guy came from. With that last pirate gone, we'll head up to the roof and see what we can find outside. Out on the roof, we find 3 pirates conveniently in front of an exploding barrel. At the time, I wasn't aware that we had the option to talk our way out of this. Oops. Looting the bodies, we find a rare exterminator ripshank. Now, heading back inside, we can properly explore this place. On the main floor, we find Bad People, Bad Jokes 2, a storage box with some credits and solvent, another storage box with credits, a gold pyramid sculpture, the Gravity Paradigm, the Fruit Cellar, Omega, The Last Days, Red Rover come over. A cooler with some yogurt and lime. Looks like the heat leech decided to come downstairs. With the first floor explored, let's head up to the second. Here we find a sculpture, a soil box followed by My Life Chunk by Chunk, the heat leech again, the med pack I missed the first time, some 7mm ammunition, a cred stick with 2 digipicks. Heading up to the next floor, next to the dead scientist, we find a book on the history of xenobiology. And next to that, a storage box with amino acids and sealant, the Chunks employee handbook, a storage box with a gray leather jumpsuit and some sealant, 2 med packs on the wall. I found this caution sign and tried to give Vasco a hat with no success. A bitten sandwich, some antibiotics in the bathroom, a book on the Pickwick Papers. Heading up to the next floor, we'll search Dr. Wynns' room first, where we find a desktop sand garden, a UC Navy poster, another copy of the Pickwick Papers, followed by Frankenstein and the Comet. In his bedroom, we find a blue lab outfit. We then see a cooler with Sith Meat Chicken and Sith Meat Multi, and next to it, a Solar Frontiers board game, and a safe locked with a novice lock. Inside, we find a comm relay and some credits. Under the bed, we find a shielded lab outfit. Heading out of the bedroom, we find a med pack on the wall and Dr. Wynns' personal terminal. The first entry reads, New Beginnings, Hayden Wynn, Personal Journal, January 13th, 2306. I can't believe it. I just got the posting. The United Colonies Xeno-Warfare Division is now official. I can't even imagine the amount of red tape they had to cut through at MAST. But it's long overdue, and I get to be part of it from the ground up. My official title will be Associate Xenobiology Technician, and I ship out in 3 days. Amanda is upset, but I assured her that I'll have plenty of leave, and will be back in New Atlantis all the time. I'm still not sure where I'm going. Definitely somewhere in United Colonies base. Guess I'll find out when I get there. Next, Candidate 1. Hayden Wynn, Personal Journal, February 6th, 2306. We got our first extraterrestrial candidate today. What appeared to be an alien form of Luquega venesta, essentially a giant spider. Michelson, in full protective gear, attempted to attach the Neural Control Interface, NCI. Our security detail is still trying to remove him from the cocoon, and we had no choice but to put down the creature. A minor setback. None of us expected success on the first try. I heard Dr. Paulson tell the others that a detachment of United Colonies Marines is scheduled to deliver another creature next Thursday. Ashta Specimen. Hayden Wynn, Personal Journal, May 5th, 2306. I'm not sure how they managed it, but the UC Marines actually managed to bring us an Ashta. It's not that the Ashta is a terrifying beast or natural predator. Those are both exceptional and wonderful qualities, and essential to the work we're doing here. It's that the Ashta is native to the planet Aquila in the Cheyenne system. Aquila, home of the Aquila City, capital of the Free Star Collective. Leave it to a group of ground pounders to grab a candidate right from the enemy's backyard. Though it does beg the question, have Frontier Collective scientists managed to weaponize their greatest natural predator? If so, our timeline just got accelerated. Trial failure. Hayden Wynn, Personal Journal, May 7th, 2306. After the Michelson debacle, we determined that NCI should only be attached under full sedation, so that wasn't an issue. The problems started immediately afterwards. The Ashta proved incredibly resistant to synchronization, and we never achieved full control fidelity beyond 47%. Dr. Chin's arm was nearly ripped off after 5 minutes into the first trial. In short, the Ashta simply can't be controlled. If not by us, then certainly not by the Free Star Collective. Dr. Paulson has been in touch with Colonel Kosarov. Looks like the Marines will have another species collected and dropped off by this time next week. More disappointment. Hayden Wynn, Personal Journal, May 12th, 2306. Another creature, another failure. No fault of the UC ground pounders. We wanted a predator, and they delivered. These things are so alien. Paulson had a difficult time deciding on a designation. Opted for Reptins venenum. Shame we couldn't properly sync the NCI. These things would have been spectacular. Especially the poison. New specimens, Hayden Wynn, Personal Journal, July 5th, 2306. Marines dropped another few specimens off this morning, totally unscheduled. Best way to describe them? They're arthropods, the alien equivalent of Homoris gomorrus. Basically giant space lobsters. Very promising giant space lobsters. I'm not entirely sure where UC Grunts found these particular test subjects. Some godforsaken backwater rock, I imagine. After the third or fourth unsuccessful trials, I stopped asking. None of those earlier specimens could be controlled with any reliability, as noted in my earlier logs. Their natural aggressiveness made them effective weapons. But a bullet is less than useless if the gun keeps turning itself on the shooter. But these new creatures possess a perfect natural disposition, non-aggressive, even docile, yet capable of defending themselves with deadly efficiency when threatened. And when they go on the attack, they're terrifying. So we'll see. Relocation. Hayden Wynn, Personal Journal, August 1st, 2306. We're moving. Packing up shop and transitioning the entire operation. It's happened so fast. My head is spinning. The work on the arthropods has been so successful. We're actually relocating to their home world. We'll have an unlimited supply of creatures for the Xenowar division. I've been named Senior Xenobiologist. That means I'll be running the entire facility. My first instinct was to tell Amanda. I'm still not used to her not being here. I'll give Michelson credit. The guy really went to bat for me. He let the mass brass know that it was my work turning the neural control interface that was instrumental in controlling the arthropods. I guess Paulson is being forced to retire. Good riddance. Sadly, it looks like relocation never came. Backing out of the terminal, we'll head across the hall into the next room, where we find Starlocked the board game on the table, an alien bug paperweight, an ammo case with shotgun shells and 7mm cartridges, a weapons rack with 7mm ammo, an ion, and a Grendel. Looks like somebody was not happy about the dishes situation here. The next room is blocked off and we can't access it. Then a med pack and 2 ammo cases just before coming into the main lab. In a locker just inside the main lab, we find a hazmat suit. There are blood and pieces of specimen everywhere. It looks like a huge battle took place here before we even interfered with the pirates. In the center is a massive 2-story containment cell, broken into pieces. I wonder if we'll see anything that shows us what was inside here. In the back corner, we find a plushy Galacticat. In the office just before the stairs, we find a weapons case with an ion and some 7mm ammunition, a med pack, and a terminal. The first log in this terminal reads, Project Pet Shop, Hayden Wynn, Senior Xenobiologist, Kreet Research Facility, Project Log, February 11th, 2307. My staff and I just arrived this morning, and I'm not surprised to find the facility completely operational. As usual, the United Colony spared no expense. It's all very exciting. Inspirational, really, knowing you have full support of the decision makers. I have to admit, I was surprised to learn that the lab is closely guarded secret, located in Freestar Collective space no less, but we have to go where the work takes us. Xenowarfare is the evolution of armed ground conflict. We know it, and the Freestar Collective surely knows it as well. Forget what the calendar says. This is 1942 all over again. We may as well be the Manhattan Project, racing to create a game changer before the other side. So, to that effect, I am overjoyed to officially announce Project Pet Shop Phase 1 is a go. With this log, things are starting to make sense. Dr. Wynn's terminal in his room must have been from a previous facility moved here when Project Pet Shop was spun up. The next, arthropods. Hayden Wynn, Senior Xenobiologist, Kreet Research Facility, Project Log, March 3rd, 2307. The arthropods are, in a word, incredible. Calm, easy to work with, and they even allow themselves to be fitted with the NCIs without much trouble. Synchronization has, thus far, been nearly instantaneous, and their control fidelity has remained within the 95 to 97% range. They've passed all environmental survivability tests as well. Hot, cold, low or no oxygen. I'm pretty sure these things could operate effectively in any environment. Most promising is how well they've already integrated in with the Red Devils, who have joined us for a period of extended training. After all, they'll be leading the creatures into combat. so it's critical they establish a war bond. Success! Hayden Wynns, Senior Xenobiologist, Kreet Research Facility, Project Log, August 7th, 2307. After months of testing a variety of extraterrestrial species, I am overjoyed to report that we have finally found a species that will serve as a backbone to the United Colonies Xenowarfare Division. The arthropods are everything we hoped for and more. Imagine a pack of alien beasts suited to any terrain, capable of instantly obeying any command. I have designated the beast Obediestas Pes, but we just call them strikers. I think it may finally be time to crack open that bottle of Chateau Avignon 2170. The Red Devils, Hayden Wynns, Senior Xenobiologist, Kreet Research Facility, Project Log, August 12th, 2307. The Red Devils' progress with the Stalkers has been nothing less than amazing. Now I see why they're so highly regarded in the UC military circles. None of the rah-rah bullshit you see with the other grunts. These are focused professionals. After another week of training here in the pet shop, I'm convinced they'll be ready for a live test in the field. Michelson suggested I contact Colonel Kesarov to find out where his Marines grabbed that spider from the early trials. He wants his comeuppance, but then it would make for a good trial. It seems as though Project Pet Shop failed just after this last entry. Let's see if we can find anything more about the creature that escaped from here. Heading up by the stairs, we see claw marks on the ground. Whatever was here was big. Once up the stairs and to the left, there's a room labeled Research 01. Inside is a whiteboard. I suspect one of the scientists drew the creature they kept inside the large tank. I also suspect that it's related to the spider creature mentioned in the last entry that would have made a good trial. Further in this floor, we find a pharmaceutical lab, a med pack hanging on the wall, the books Oliver Twist and Shadows in the Attic, and around the corner we find a locked lab with a novice-level lock. Once inside, we find Hayden Wynn's Project Terminal. The first entry reads War. Hayden Wynn, Senior Xenobiologist, Kreet Research Facility, Project Log, January 5th, 2308. We're at war. By establishing the colony of Vesta, the Freestar Collective have forced the UC's hand. The unmitigated gall, thinking they could establish control over a fourth star system. Such a flagrant violation of the Treaty of Narion. Our diplomats tried to resolve this peacefully, but the Council of Governors wouldn't listen to reason. Apparently they claimed that Vesta was not a colony, but rather just an insignificant farming outpost. Nice try. By all accounts, the Red Devils and Stalkers worked in perfect unison, and the results were everything we could have hoped for. No Red Devil or Stalker casualties. Vesta's defenders were apparently taken by complete surprise, which greatly contributed to their fatality rate. 93%. This is a great day for the Red Devils, a great day for the United Colonies, and a great day for xenowarfare. Note, no, it's not lost on me that this classified facility is actually located within Freestar Collective space. So goes the great game. Phase 2. Hayden Wynn, Senior Xenobiologist, Kreet Research Facility, Project Log, April 5th, 2308. It's finally time. After a number of successful missions with the Red Devils, the Stalkers have proven to be exactly the weapons we had hoped for. So it's time to expand our operations. MAST has finally approved the next stage of this facility's operations. Project Pet Shop, Phase 2, will now commence. Stalkers, Hayden Wynn, Senior Xenobiologist, Kreet Research Facility, Project Log, April 18th, 2308. We've officially stopped work on the Stalkers. There are enough creatures in the field to serve the Red Devils, who haven't been here to train in over a year. If they need more, we can easily gather some from the planet and fit them with NCIs. But from this point on, our focus is Phase 2. Heat leeches. Hayden Wynn, Senior Xenobiologist, Kreet Research Facility, Project Log, May 1st, 2308. Throughout the settled systems, from civilized worlds to backwater bush towns, pilots have had to deal with the nuisance known commonly as heat leech. I had my own unpleasant experience 4 years ago at the New Atlantis spaceport. My transport was delayed while the deck crew removed a few of these filthy things from the aft thrusters. They're attracted to heat, feed off it through some endothermic process, so thrusters are a perfect place for them to hide. They can take the full afterburner burst with no ill effects. No ill effects on the heat leeches, that is. A ship with an infestation can generally expect a 3 to 5% drop in thruster efficiency. Working with the heat leeches has been interesting, if not entirely satisfying. We have 11 of them in the lab, and by all accounts they're completely innocuous, save for their ship siphoning properties. But what if there was a way to weaponize them? Perhaps artificially enhance their heat siphoning to completely and instantly disable a ship. Or, even better, to somehow reverse the process so that they transfer their own heat into the ship. Someday. Today, I fear we lack the means to do either. Continuing our search, we find a soil box, a credit chip, an ammo case, and a novice-locked safe with some ammo, credits, amp, and an Eon. And with that, we have fully explored the Kreet Research Facility and what became of Project Pet Shop. What do you think about what UC and MAST were doing here? Do you agree with trying to turn creatures into weapons? Let me know in the comments down below. I worked really hard on this episode and would really appreciate a like and subscribe if you would like to be notified for future episodes. What should I cover next? Please let me know. And may the stars guide you home.